All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is a beautiful day. It's June. Football's actually not that far away. We're talking Detroit Lions in today's video. I want to talk about their offense because we're seeing that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have just a bigger, much bigger receiving role for Detroit this upcoming season. We're hearing things that like Khalif Raymond has had a great OTAs. I'm really intrigued on guys like Isaiah Williams and Antoine Green. And I want to talk a little bit about this offense in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Try and get this video to 200 likes. That would mean the world to me. So, it's no surprise. The Detroit Lions, their best feature is their offense, right? They ranked third in total offense last season. They were fifth in scoring. They've been a top 5 offense for 2 straight seasons now. And most importantly, offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has been retained. So yes, the biggest strength is the skill players. And you had some huge contract extensions, or you just have some big time players coming back, like your 2 rookies, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs. You gave Jared Goff an extension. You gave Amon-Ra St. Brown an extension. And you still got David Montgomery. Jameson Williams has been getting a lot of praise in OTA. So, it's a good day to be a Detroit Lions fan. It's funny. I remember I was just laughing before I made this video because it's actually baffling to me how after the season ended, I was like, you know what? Josh Reynolds just departed to Denver. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit picked up a wide receiver in the first round. We're hearing all this praise about guys like Terrion Arnold, their first round pick. And I'm just so glad that they didn't because, the more you look into it, they really don't need a crazy wide receiver. I'm still seeing trade proposals where Detroit could get a little bit deeper at the wide receiver spot. We're going to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs in just a second here, but one of them was a Bleacher Report. So I was reading this article. I'll just read you the excerpt here. This was from Bleacher Report. Even after handing big money extensions to Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sewell this offseason, the Detroit Lions have $28.4 million in space for this upcoming season. They must be careful not to stray from its long-term vision, but that available money can bolster the receiving core. St. Brown's a superstar, blah, blah, blah. Tight end Sam Laporta's trending in that direction. Lions are still waiting on 2022 first rounder Jameson Williams to have a breakout year and shouldn't expect more than complimentary production out of Khalif Raymond. In fairness, yes, the market is reasonably thin at wide receiver. It's true that none of Michael Thomas, Hunter Renfrow, or McCole Hardman are guaranteed to make a major impact. So, yeah, it's pretty slim out there. I don't know why Detroit would make a trade for a guy like Tyler Lockett or Brandon Ayuk or who are some more guys like Deebo Samuel's out there in the trade rumors, Cortland Sutton's out there in the trade rumors. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But, obviously, if you're Brad Holmes, you don't want to fork over too much value. I like this receiving core, and it mainly has to do, Amon-Ra St. Brown's obviously a star. I think Jameson Williams is going to have a breakout season. However, I did think that last year, but getting a little bit deeper, I mentioned guys like Antoine Green, your draft pick at the very end of last year's class from North Carolina. I think Antoine's a huge big time playmaker. And I like Isaiah Williams a lot, but if we're talking consistent, reliable production, a lot of people around the league don't even really know who Khalif Raymond is. Khalif Raymond last year, 35 catches, 489 yards, and a touchdown. The year before it, 7 starts, 17 games played, 47 catches, 616 yards. The year before that, 48 catches, about 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is his 4th year with Detroit, and he can very easily get the production that Josh Reynolds left you with. I think Khalif Raymond just in general flies so under the radar. So Donovan Peoples-Jones could also step up. But basically my point just really quickly is Jameson Williams, Khalif Raymond, Donovan Peoples-Jones, they're going to make up for their lack of, or, whatever they lost with Josh Reynolds, whatever his statistics were last season, their remaining core depth can certainly make up for that fact. But my money would be on Khalif Raymond being the leading receiver outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Donovan Peoples-Jones is super interesting because you traded for him at the deadline last year and he made pretty much no impact. I guess that was kind of expected. It was very deep. You're throwing it to Gibbs, you're throwing it to Laporta, St. Brown, and especially once you get into the playoffs, you want to throw to reliable, trustworthy targets. Not that DPJ is that, but you need time to build up that chemistry and that trust with your quarterback and Jared Goff. However, it is important to note that DPJ had 800 receiving yards 1 year ago in his last full season with one team. With the Cleveland Browns 2 years ago, 800 receiving yards. So, wide receiver wise, I'm not worried in the slightest, and I actually don't even anticipate them to make a move. So I was reading an article from Adam LaRose on ProFootballRumors.com, and the headliner was Lions not planning wide receiver addition. Oh, so there you go. Team eyeing increased role for Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, last year's rookie, phenomenal rookie season. It flew like, even though Detroit won the division, maybe it's just because I live in Florida and there's not much football talk down here. But to me, Jahmyr Gibbs flew under the radar. Almost 1,300 total yards from scrimmage, 11 total touchdowns, and the Lions are reportedly aiming for Gibbs to take on an expanded role in the pass catching department in 2024. Last season, he actually had 52 catches. However, 316 receiving yards. That only ranked sixth on the team. That's crazy. They had really good receiving last year. There are teams. I was just neither here nor there. Anyways, going from that article, here's the excerpt. The Lions are positioned to rely on internal options with respect to replaying Reynolds' production. Geez, that's a little alliteration. The Lions are positioned to rely on internal options with respect to replaying Reynolds' production. The veteran posted 608 yards and 5 touchdowns in 2023, drawing 64 targets, the second highest figure of his career. Along the way, the team could turn to the likes of Khalif Raymond, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Traquan Smith to take on a complementary role in lieu of a free agent signing or trade acquisition. And then we heard this from Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. It might be someone that didn't have as much production last year, saying Antoine Green or Peoples-Jones or some guy that we had on the scout team. Or it could be some of the other guys. So that's what we're trying to figure out here in this springtime and in training camp, is not just who the guys are that we'll hang our hats on, but also how we distribute those carries and those targets as the season goes. So, David Montgomery, more of a bruiser, right? David Montgomery also had a phenomenal season. More so, he was putting up crazy statistics, specifically in the touchdown, the rushing touchdown department. But I love it that you just kind of have a bruiser, a first down guy, a second down guy to just keep on moving that ball. And then you got Jahmyr Gibbs, just kind of a guy begging for big time plays. And we saw plenty of them last season. And we're going to see plenty more of them this upcoming season, but more so in the receiving game. And, Jahmyr Gibbs is just such a talented athlete that you want the ball in his hands as often as possible. Moving on to the offensive line, you've got probably, I don't want to call them the best offensive line in the league, but it's certainly a top 5 offensive line in the league. And you replace your right guard with Kevin Zeitler, a veteran Pro Bowler out of Baltimore. The offensive line looks great. The Detroit Lions offense on paper is almost perfect. If we had seen just a little bit more Jameson Williams last year, people would be saying, Detroit's probably easily going to be the best offense in the NFL next season. But yeah, we're just waiting for a bigger sample size of Jameson Williams production. But I love their depth. Khalif Raymond, DPJ, Isaiah Williams, you get the point, Antoine Green. So that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. And Lions fans, let me know your thoughts on the wide receiver room down below.